are now to our final presentations. Our next brand is Scholastic World of English. Has anybody heard of Scholastic? Oh, good, good. So as you may know, Scholastic is the world's largest publisher of children's books. So they have millions and millions of different titles for children's books. And of course, some of them are famous, like the Hunger Games or the Harry Potter series. Okay. Next slide. Okay. So it doesn't take a genius to understand that Scholastic and the industry they are in, which is English language training, is a very, very big industry. Recent research, can you go back? Recent research shows $63 billion a year, 60% of which is focused on young children, which is very critical because that's where Scholastic competes in, young children learning English. And of course, in the next slide, you will see that Vietnam is right around here. The English is good, but obviously there are opportunities to continue to improve in this country. And so we feel there is a huge opportunity to continue with Scholastic and to bring those centers here to Vietnam. Next slide. So maybe similar to some of the brands that you've heard before from this morning, like Ace International, Scholastic is almost 100 years old. They are a $1.6 billion company listed on the New York Stock Exchange, and many people all around the world will recognize books from Scholastic, whether they are English books or whether they are children's books. Next slide. So we're going to talk a little bit about what Scholastic has to offer. And one of the things that makes them quite unique is that they are focused on the age groups of 3 years old to 8 years old. And the way that they deliver the English training, you will see a little bit later, is based heavily on technology and proven products and services that they have provided over the last nearly 100 years. And of course comes with that high quality teaching and the rest of the programs. One of the unique things also about Scholastic is because they are such a big publisher of children's books, there are opportunities to sell books to children who are going to the school. And these books will tie back to the lessons that are being learned in the classroom. Another very unique feature of Scholastic World of English is their library. So Scholastic is the only English language training franchise that will give you 2,000 children's books. So each center will have 2,000 books. And we'll talk a little bit more about what that fee is, but you will see that that fee is very, very nominal. And then lastly, Scholastic also has all kinds of supplemental activities that revolve around holidays throughout the entire world. And again, these can be supplemental kits and revenue channels for the franchisee. Next slide. So here you can see the core of the Scholastic World of English program. In each classroom, you have this interactive media board. So we are in an age today where technology can actually help us deliver English language training in a very standardized, efficient, and high-quality way. These interactive media boards all use proprietary software from Scholastic World of English that delivers the English instructions. So from phonics to learning how to sing songs and speaking English properly, 99% of that will come from the interactive media board and the Scholastic program. This is further supported by mobile devices, where homework can be assigned on mobile devices, in addition to your traditional student workbooks, homework books, etc. that comes along with the Scholastic program. And of course, many different other things like flashcards, other tools that you will use to teach effectively inside the classroom. What is key to understand is using the Scholastic World of English program, you do not need foreign English teachers. So if you are already in the industry, you will understand and appreciate the difficulties of having foreign English teachers, not only from a recruiting standpoint, but also a retention standpoint, a cost standpoint, and a quality standpoint. Because as you all know, English teachers and the way they teach can vary significantly between the individual teachers. So the Scholastic program, what it intends to do is take out that non-consistency by taking out the English teacher and replacing them with technology and also the local Vietnamese teacher who can speak English and who will act more like a facilitator in the classroom and not as the teacher. Because no lesson plans need to be planned. All the lesson planning is done through the interactive technology. Next slide. So we've talked a little bit about what is good for the students because they're getting world-class access to literally millions of books, stories, all delivered in a very efficient, high-quality manner. Obviously, this is also effective for teachers because no longer are the English classrooms and the programs that they deliver dependent on the individual teacher. We have taken that away. We have standardized it to make it world best practices. And all the teacher has to do is follow the instructions for each module, for each class that they partake into when they go to a Scholastic school. And then, of course, I'm sorry, go back. For the owners, right? The owners benefit because of the many reasons we discussed earlier. Higher quality, lower costs, lower issues with foreign teachers, etc., etc. And of course, local teachers tend to be significantly more dedicated than foreign teachers, especially if we're paying them at a competitive rate. Next slide.